Greetings, our dear brothers and sisters from planet Earth. Despite the fact that we have already talked a lot about ourselves, we would like to join other members of the Galactic Federation of Light and tell a little about the basic laws that govern life in the constellation Andromeda. The very prefix so says that the constellation consists of several planets. They are of different sizes and each of them has its own purpose. The largest planet, on which the bulk of the population lives, is a kind of state, headed by the Council of Elders. His responsibilities include tracking the needs of the population and providing them with everything they need. In addition, the Council of Elders is empowered to maintain contact with our galactic brethren and participate in meetings of the Galactic Federation of Light of which we are members. As for other, smaller planets, each of them performs its specific function in accordance with the features that it possesses. We have planets with agricultural land, planets spaceports, planets reserves, planets where minerals are extracted, planets where industrial enterprises are located. As a rule, people do not live on them, but only come, or rather, fly there to work. We have a widely developed network of high-speed movements from one planet to another. And besides, on each of these planets there are control centers, which are connected by a single system with all the planets of our constellation. All the necessary work in the fields and in factories is performed by robots, in which a specific program is laid. We have a very developed space production, where aircraft are produced that can even move to neighboring galaxies. But we believe that our greatest achievement is that we have managed to achieve a balance in the social sphere, where everything is subordinated to the fact that every inhabitant of Andromeda feels free and happy, being in harmony with his soul, his environment, society and nature. And the last thing we would like to say today, this is our attitude towards you, Earthlings. We consider you members of our family, because for a very long time we took part in the creation of the human genome and have always closely followed the great experiment that was carried out on planet Earth, from your fall into 3D and ending with your rebirth, which is gaining momentum every day. We see how difficult and painful the transition to the fifth dimension is, how few people on Earth are ready for it, how many obstacles are still on your way. And we really want to be useful to you in this difficult period for you, to support you, share our experience, our technologies. And now we are considering all possible options for the early implementation of our intentions. We love you very much and will always be by your side. The Council of Elders of the Andromeda constellation spoke to you. Greetings, our dear brothers and sisters from planet Earth. Today we will tell you about our planet and how closely we are connected with you. You will be surprised, but among you there are our real brothers and sisters from past lives, since many of you were born on our planet and even more than once. That is why outwardly we are very similar, although our bodies have a different subtle energy structure, and our skin is a slightly different shade, bluish. This is because the air on Sirius is less saturated, and the atmosphere itself has a different chemical composition. Our planet can be called a blue planet, since not only our skin, but even nature have a slightly bluish tint. We have a lot of mountainous terrain, so our houses are built more upward, in order to maintain harmony with the landscape, as well as to save space. But they are not at all like your houses, since they have no sharp corners and they are irregular in shape, in your opinion, probably rather abstract. Our architects attach great importance not only to convenience, but also to aesthetics, both external and internal. We do not have large metropolitan areas like on your planet, because we understand that only in merging with nature can you feel harmonious and happy. The climate on our planet is very mild and comfortable for living. The social structure of our society resembles a commune in your understanding, or an urban community, but it is arranged in such a way that there is virtually no hierarchy of power in it. Such communities are headed by the Council of Elders, who are elected from the most beloved and wisest inhabitants of our planet, and they treat others like their own children, never showing arrogance or pride. While you live in a dual world, you probably find it difficult to understand that it is quite possible to live without bosses and instructions from above. If the elders ask us for something, then this is always friendly advice, but not pressure on us, since the free will of every inhabitant of the planet is an immutable law. Do you think this is fantastic, dear ones? But we live in the world of the fifth dimension, where the energy of love reigns, and everything is saturated only with it. When it becomes necessary to discuss some general planetary problems, each city sends its representative to the Supreme Council of Elders of Sirius, where collegial decisions are made for the benefit of the entire planet. We have neither a capital nor a president, since this presupposes some kind of power structure, which is already a product of duality. Families are created in our country a little differently than in yours, since the decisive factor in the connection of a man and a woman is certain codes embedded in our subtle energy structure, which recognize their soulmate by their vibrational sound. This is a little difficult to explain to you, but it is thanks to this that the most harmonious and happy couples are obtained. The birth of children also occurs in a slightly different way, as a result of the merger of the strongest energy emissions of a man and a woman at the moment of enjoying each other. A kind of cocoon is formed, but not in the womb. It is kept in a special incubator, where ideal conditions are created for the development of the embryo. Its development can be observed, and when it is fully ripe, an incision is made in its shell and the child is born. Thus, the birth of a child does not bring suffering to the mother, and all the months of the embryo's maturation, parents can watch its development, admire it, talk to it. You might be interested to know what we eat. Only plant food. Our planet has highly developed technologies for growing and processing fruits and plants. They, perhaps, do not look like earthly ones. We have a very clear distribution of responsibilities. Everyone does what he knows how to do best, what he has a soul for and from which he gets real pleasure. And believe me, this approach turned out to be very reasonable. Thus, the needs of our society are naturally regulated, and we do not lack anything. We very much hope, dear ones, that soon you too, having escaped from the world of duality, will be able to feel what it means to live in the fifth dimension, where you will be truly free and happy. We love you very much and will be by your side during this difficult transition period for you. Sirius Council of Elders spoke to you. Greetings, dear Earthlings. Today we will tell you a little about our planet. Arcturus is the main planet of the constellation Boots, and all the most important centers of control and observation of celestial bodies are concentrated on it, as well as the control center for flights to other planets. In your language, Arcturus can be called the capital of the state Boots. Our planet is mainly in the fifth dimension and partly in the sixth, since not all the Arcturians have yet been able to reach this level, in which our priests are still mainly. Yes, do not be surprised, we have an institution of priests, as it once was on Earth, in Atlantis, ancient Egypt and other states. Our priests are very ancient souls who came to the planet Arcturus with a mission to raise the Arcturians to an even higher level of spiritual development. We have mystery schools in which the most capable and spiritually developed inhabitants of the planet are trained, who then themselves become priests. If we talk about the social structure of our society, then, in your language, it can be called monarchical socialism, since it is based on equality and brotherhood. But this society is headed by the High Priest, who embodies the divine principle for all inhabitants of Arcturus. This is an ancient and wise soul who came to our planet a long time ago and absorbed all its features. This is a seventh density being who is the catalyst of the divine energies of the highest vibrations entering the planet Arcturus. It concentrates them in itself and then redistributes them in such a way that they harmoniously and expediently flow into the life of our planet, and so that each inhabitant of Arcturus receives those portions of energy and in such a composition that he needs right now for his spiritual and physical development. This is a rather complicated process, but believe me, this method of energy intake is fully justified and maintains the energy balance on our planet. Thanks to this, the transition of the Arcturians from the fifth dimension to the sixth is smooth and harmonious, without sudden jumps, since there is no overdose of energies of high vibrations. Outwardly, those who are in the fifth dimension and in the sixth do not differ much from each other, but the higher the level of vibrations, the easier it is for us to control our bodies and change them with the power of thought. Bodies of the sixth dimension become more rarefied and luminous, as light crystals of which they are composed begin to shine through them. Our appearance is slightly different from yours, since we have a highly developed third eye, with the help of which we communicate with each other telepathically. For those who have already passed into the sixth dimension, it appears even outwardly. Our skull is more elongated, and the average height is at least 2 meters. We can easily change the shape of our body, hairstyle, clothes, creating everything with the power of thought. The landscape of our planet is a bit like yours, but we have more plateaus and houses, which we can also build with the power of thought. are most often a continuation of the landscape of the area. They almost merge with nature and have soft flowing forms. Our civilization is very advanced technically. We possess flying vehicles that are able to move easily throughout our galaxy. If you wish, you can see our ships, since lately we are often in near-Earth space, tracking the changes taking place on Earth. As members of the Galactic Federation of Light, we gladly agreed to help Earthlings in their transition to a new level of their development. We are ready to share with you our experience of transition from one dimension to another, as well as the technologies you need to build a new life. You can rely on us in everything, our dear brothers and sisters. The Council of Elders of the planet Arcturus spoke to you.